What is going on, my Elden Kings and Queens? Today, we're going to be playing Elden Ring, and I'm going to go through with a brand new, fresh character, how to get at least 100k souls within your first 20 minutes of gameplay. It's really easy. Just a few small things you have to do for preparation. You're going to need Torrent and a bleed weapon. And then you can pretty much ignore this guy. He is basically the first NPC you meet. But he's just going to talk about how you ain't got no bitches. So, I mean, do your Elden Ring pose and ignore him. Just stunt on him way too hard. Roll away. Now, when you're first progressing, there's going to be a tree sentinel. You can see him right there in the top right corner. We're just going to avoid him. I'm a wretch with no levels. I'm definitely not good enough to beat him on my own with just that amount of effort. So I'm just going to run past. You can go right to the church. And, you know, as long as you just stick to the left, he's kind of not going to notice you. So the main reason I'm even going here is I'm just going to touch a bunch of sites of grace. On the off chance I get knocked down, knocked out, that way I can easily get back to where I'm going. Like, I won't lose too much progress. So right now, we are just rushing straight to Torrent. Because Torrent is one of the most important parts of this game. You can use him to bypass so much content. You get a beautiful double jump. And honestly, who's really going to stop you from running directly past them with a horse? Okay, so just like that, you just run straight past, and all you're going to do is sit down, and then it's going to start a prompt. And you're going to get to learn pretty good chunk of the plot. You're once again going to be called Maidenless. I'm just going to skip right through this, because the only important part is just getting to Torrent. Now, I have figured out if you do decline, you just won't be able to level up, and then you can always talk to her again and then tell her, yo, what's up, I'll do it. Now, we're just going to equip Torrent, and then we're going to run this way. There's two little carriages right here. We're just going to go right to the second one, and in the back of it will be a trunk. That's where you get Flail. Flail is one of the easiest bleed weapons to get right off the bat. My only problem with it is it takes 18 dex to wield. When you're using a wretch, you don't really have that right off the bat, so you will have to put some levels into dex for this build. But, I mean, honestly, it's a good trade-off, and at some point you're going to want the dex there anyways. Now, one of the main problems with what's going on right now is it is nighttime. I'm coming up to a bridge, and usually there's just a standard run-of-the-mill guy on a horseback. But at nighttime, he becomes the Nights Calvary, and you'll see quickly why this is an issue. Because, once again, I have not leveled up once, and this is a boss. And I didn't even realize it was the boss. I was hoping it was just a regular guy, just running past my business. Yeah, now I'm not. Killed my horse, too. Can you believe it? The indecency. It doesn't really matter, because we're just going to go kill his brother anyways. So, I mean, that's revenge, if anything is. When in doubt, kill the brother. Now, it's daytime, you'll see that isn't a Night Calvary anymore. It's just a regular dude, regular horseback. He can still mess you up. Not gonna lie, I've died to this guy plenty of times. Now, what we're doing now is we're basically going to follow this one road, and that'll bring us to the third church of Marika. And behind the third church is going to be a teleporter that we can take to easily get, I think it's like right across the map. And the main problem is, it's really easy to go the wrong way if you're not actively looking at your map. Which, it's really hard to do when there's a lot of enemies out in the open world. It's just, this is an easy place to get turned around and confused. And once again, just touching any site of grace I happen by, because it's gonna be useful. If I die, boom, you are right back and making a decent pace. Because there's a lot of running, I'm not gonna lie to you. And then, once again, just to iterate, you're going up that road, that path. That's the main way you're going. And then, if you don't want to use flail, you do not have to use the flail. There are other bleed weapons that'll work for this. And all that's important is the fact that you have a bleed weapon, because you're going to need hemorrhage to do any real damage. So the way bleed works is you get a bleed up, and then it'll take a percentage of their health all at once, which can be incredibly useful for a lot of different enemies. Okay, and here we are coming up on the third church of Marika. Marika, America. There's so many ways to say anything. Now you're going to notice right over here is a crimson crystal tier, and that'll just give you the flask of wondrous physic off the bat. Then you'll get a sacred tier. Sacred tiers are going to change the amount that your flasks heal or restore mana for. They're super useful, never pass one up. Now, if you'll see right behind the church is this little cove, and in it is a handy-dandy little portal. Just going to walk right into it. Kind of looks like a space butthole. Alright, this is going to take you to Grail's Dragon Barrow. Now, there's a lot of things you can do. You can even farm in this area. They're going to be guys spread out, and they're each about, I think they're worth 1,400 runes each. I'm not 100% sure on that. I have not farmed them in a while. But early game, they're one of the better farms. Now you're going to see this area. This first bridge, that is, you can definitely run straight past it, but like I said, I am a level 1 wretch. I can't take any hits. I'm not really looking to try. You can even see that dragon. He is ready for me. And there are going to be a lot of dragons in this area coming up. We are in Caelid. I don't know if there's any lore to back it up, but this is Dragon City. So I'm going to go back up and then around. And the goal is it'll bring us to a second bridge. And that is the one you actually want to be for where we're going. The site of grace it leads you to, I believe, is Lens Rise. And that's just one of the central spots for this farm. Now, so originally in this area, you can fight a Nights Calvary, and this poison that we just stepped on. You would fight him on the bridge and lead him up the mountain, and the poison buildup would just build up in such a way that it would one-shot him, and you would get 40k souls for basically nothing. Now, in one of the earlier patches, they did away with that, so instead of chasing you all the way up the mountain, he will just respawn right on the bridge. But don't worry, there is a way around that, so you can definitely cheese him. But first, we're going to get back on our horse, and we're going to go down here. Now, if you've ever seen a movie called Indiana Jones, you'll have a pretty good idea of what we're doing. Right as you pass here, a boulder will spawn and just try and smash you. Now, the nice thing about that is you get about 2k runes just from that, and then you can run right to the site of grace, sit down, and do it all over again as many times as you want. But we're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is we're just going to skip this dialogue. She just wants to take you to the Roundhold, which is a great hub with a lot of NPCs and just a lot of things to do. It's one of the best areas in the game. But we're going to ignore her. We're going to get her to go away. And we're going to take a little naparoo right until nightfall. Because at night, that's when the knights come out. Now see, if you look down the bridge we just came from, you can see a black figure upon a horse. That is a Nights Calvary. They are worth about 40k runes. That is the guy who one-shot me earlier. Well, it's his brother one-shot me earlier. Now, all we're going to do is we're just going to come over on this edge of the bridge. What he is going to do is he's going to run around. He's going to get confused. He's going to get angry. It's going to be a lot like middle school. And he's just going to try and charge us. And all you got to do is kind of dance around these edges. You can see I don't take a single hit over here. And it's pretty easy to just get him to walk right off the cliff. Even if you're not that great at it, he will eventually just do it to himself. That's all it's about. Just got to get him to walk right off the edge. You almost got him. And there. And you'll see, no fighting, no leveling. We have not done anything besides run at that point. And that is a good 42,000 runes. And the Bloodhound Step. The Bloodhound Steps, I'm not sure if you can put it on every weapon, but you can put it on a lot of weapons. My favorite thing, go PvP, throw that boy in a katana, and just dash around your foes. It is just awesome. Now from here, we're going to run past the boulder spot. And there will be more boulders. The other boulders don't give you the same rune, or amount of runes as that one does. And then that one, you can also not get it to go off the ledge, and it'll just despawn. You won't get any points. But you want it to run off the edge. That's how you get your money. Now, right here past this branch, another Indiana Jones type boulder will spawn. And this one actually gets me. It is usually a one hit at most points in the game. Unless you're wearing some heavy, heavy poise armor. I'm not really sure what you would need to do to survive that, especially as a level 1 wretch. But what I'm going to do, I don't really have my map, but I know the rough area of where I'm going. Just going to slowly make our way back down. Now, if you stick to the left here, it's really easy to avoid the first boulder, but you won't get any of that sweet, sweet moolah from letting him run right off the edge. Now, luckily, I kind of stopped right up here on that branch, and my runes are in a safe spot. So they're just really easy to catch, just right on someone else's bloodstain, or my bloodstain, I'm not sure. And then we're just going to, once again, avoid the Indiana Jones boulder. That one actually only gives us 21 runes when it falls off. That's why we're not farming the other boulders. They are not worth it. But really all we're doing is just riding this road to the west. Now, there are a lot of things we could be stopping and fighting. If you want to, go ahead. More the merrier, all the runes for you. We're just going to touch that site of grace. Oh, no, I guess I didn't touch that site of grace. Oh, well, you're really close to the final location for this farm. You just have a few dragons to dodge. Now, since you're on Torrent, it is really easy to just run right past these guys, and they won't pay you any mind. Now, just right up here to the left, you're just going to make your way up the hill, up the mountain, whatever you want to call it. And once again, dragons to your left, dragons to your right. You're stuck in the middle. You're just going to go right up this area. And you'll see, that big guy taking a big nap, that's a dragon. I know you could easily get confused and think that might be a dog. Everything in this game might be a dog. We are not sure. But we're just going to run right up past it to the castle. Now, I like to just always touch any site of grace I can because you never know what's going to happen. You just might be an idiot. Now, right here, we're just going to pop a few levels into our dexterity just so we can wield the flask. the flail in a productive way. All you need is 18 to equip it. So we're just going to do that. We're just going to jump right back on Torrent, get the flail out. And now, when you hold L2 with the flail, it has this cool little, you kind of like whip it around like you're doing the helicopter dick, but it's a flail. So it like actually does some real life damage. I don't know anything about your real life setup, but when you do damage with a bleed weapon, you'll get that. You'll do a huge chunk of damage real quick. That's a percentage of their health. And that is exactly how you're taking this guy out. Now, I have heard there are ways to just straight up wake this guy up and fight him. I've never done that. I like the cheese. I'm full on mozzarella. Now, all you have to do is just run into this guy, and you can use the heavier the light attacks. I prefer to do this spinning thing, because it looks stupid to me. And that's what we're all about here. So now we're just going to run this guy through, just rinse and repeat. And see, there we go. Just like that, we have defeated a great dragon. And now, some people have reported if you run back to the Site of Grace fast enough, you can get him to give you both all the runes and then respawn, letting you fight him again. I've never got this to happen, but if you do, it's just way more farm for you. And look at that. We now have over 100,000 runes, and all we had to do is just run on Hortzfat, find one item, and then just do some helicopter digging. And look at that. All the way to level 37. 38? I need classes. But that's all you gotta do. And you're already ready for most of the early game, any build you really want.